Now, today is the longest day, the official start of summer. School's nearly over, farms are going full tilt. It's the season of the Euros, the Olympics, tennis. But yesterday, a student from Oxford was one of two protesters to have been arrested after orange paint was sprayed on giant stones at Stonehenge on the eve of the summer solstice. Well, they've since said it's actually orange cornflower and it will wash away in the rain. That's Just Stop Oil, of course. And a spokesperson for English Heritage said the damage was being assessed. Adrian Johnson is a spokesperson for Just Stop Oil. Morning to you, Adrian.
Good morning.
And we have Tim Montgomery with us, who lives near the National Treasure. Thank you very much indeed, Tim, for being with us.
Morning.
Just what was your reaction when you found out about this?
Well, I saw the pictures on Twitter and I really was horrified. It's a very special place for all of us, I think, the whole world. People come to Salisbury, to Stonehenge, the place I live, from all over the world. I often meet them at the bus stop, at the railway station. And for many people, it's almost like a holy shrine they're visiting. It connects us with so much history. 5,000 years ago, the civilization that put that together, who lived in an incredibly sustainable way, produced something that still produces magic for people around the world, and to attempt to desecrate, to damage it yesterday. I don't have sympathy with sort of Just Stop Oil's general tactics, but yesterday I just think they went a step too far. They, as English Heritage have said, they potentially damaged something that actually is an embodiment of how we do live sustainably. That civilization lives sustainably. To attack it in the way it was done yesterday was a terrible crime, in my view, and I hope the people who did it really are properly punished.
Adrian Johnson, what's your response to that?
Yeah, good morning. My response is just to remind ourselves of the situation. We're facing collapse. Politics is failing. People need to come together to end this fossil fuel era, or basically it's going to end us. And we took the action yesterday because oil, gas and coal are literally weapons of mass destruction. The science is very, very clear on that. And so we're demanding our government to sign the international...
Sorry, just one moment. What has Stonehenge got to do with climate change?
Yeah, well, because it represents, as your other guest rightly says, 5,000 years of civilization. And the people who put that monument together, they were able to do that because they were living in a time that had the stability and the predictability of a climate. And that gave them the situation that they were not worrying where their next meal is coming from. And to be clear about this to yourself and to your listeners, those 5,000 years of civilization are about to be obliterated. And again, to repeat, the science is very, very clear. I'll just give you one fact. So the UN World Food Programme this week was stating that they estimate that by 2050, 95% of the world's land is going to be degraded. It's not going to be supporting crops. We're going to be starving as a civilization.
Because of fossil fuels.
Because of climate change, yeah.
Let me just bring Tim Montgomery in then on that. I mean, in the sense that actually they're just continuing the legacy of the people that built Stonehenge. And in fairness, if they don't do something as dramatic as this, Tim, nobody's going to pay any attention. That's the argument.
Well, look, we live in a democracy and it's up to voters to decide whether they want to take climate change seriously. I think we should take climate change incredibly seriously, and we can do that at the ballot box. The Green Party, just as one illustration, are about to make some significant breakthroughs in the polls from the look of it. But what I object to, I know you're running a fair and balanced discussion on Radio Ulster, and I respect that. But what Adrian and his Just Stop Oil extremists want to do, and they've got what they want, is they want to make their points on programmes like this by attacking Stonehenge. And by giving them the oxygen of publicity, because of the attack that they made yesterday, they are achieving what they want to do. And we will not turn the tide on these lunatics until we stop giving them airtime in response to these savage acts that they commit. I don't want to hear Adrian except outside of a democratic forum. I don't want him rewarded and his like rewarded for desecrating a national treasure by getting on the airwaves to make his points. Green Party politicians, other politicians make their points in the debates that we've had in the election. They have the opportunity to make these points all the time. You don't get an opportunity to appear on the radio because you attack a national treasure. The broadcasters have a responsibility to stop this, as well as law enforcement agencies.
And yet here we all are, and here you are, and here they are on the front page of all of the national newspapers today as well. Can I just ask you, Adrian, about the people that were protesting and were arrested yesterday? One of them is a 21-year-old student. That person could end up with a criminal record. Do you think that's right?
Well, absolutely. The people that took the action yesterday are they're ordinary people, and they are willing to face the consequences. We take full accountability for our action, and in terms of getting, what we deserve.
Don't you feel responsibility a little bit for a 21-year-old student potentially having a criminal record?
So the 21-year-old who took that action takes full responsibility for their action. Okay, I don't need to do that. And just to respond to Tim, if I may. So Tim, you're using really strong language. You're talking about lunacy. You're talking about extremist action. And I would just put it to you that it is lunacy. Sorry, Tim, can I just finish, please? Excuse me, can I just complete?
Well, excuse me, do you mind not damaging national monuments? If you're going to talk about courtesy, I think you need to learn some basics.
I think I can just answer. Yeah, no, you just need to hear this. And I'm sorry, with respect, it is lunacy at this time of climate collapse.
No respect.
OK, let's just let Adrian finish his point.
At this time of climate, thank you so much. That at this time of climate collapse, it is absolute lunacy to be licensing new oil and gas, and that is the extremist behaviour here, and you need to understand that. And
Can I just quickly ask you one more question before we wrap this up, Adrian? J.K. Rowling, you've managed to unite J.K. Rowling and all the political leaders today. She's been one of the people that have suggested, why is it that you have not gone directly for anybody responsible for climate change? Why are you attacking a national monument instead of going out and having face-to-face discussions with politicians, etc.?
Well, we've done all of those things actually previously. But our demand is of the government, and we're demanding that the government signs an international fossil fuel non-proliferation treaty to outlaw the extraction and burning of all fossil fuels by 2030. The science fully backs that demand.
Tim, final word. This group clearly believe that whatever government is elected on July the 4th, they're not taking their climate commitments seriously anymore. Do they have some... Are they right in that to an extent?
To some extent, but... if they really were serious about what they believed, they wouldn't be protesting in Britain, where they know they're going to be let off quite quickly because we are fundamentally a democratic, civil, libertarian country. Why aren't they in China? Why aren't they in Saudi Arabia? Why aren't the countries that are really responsible for the emissions? They don't do it there because they know they would really face the full force of the law. I'm afraid they are posers. They are not serious people, and we shouldn't be giving them airtime.
We're going to leave it there. Tim Montgomery and Adrian Johnson.
It is just coming up